Hello and welcome. This is Julie Silver Stitches here on FlossTube and on Instagram. Today is Monday, June 1st, 2026, and I am here for my weekly FlossTube update. Cross stitch, if you don't know, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking. If you're new here, welcome. I hope that you can follow along just as easily as everybody else. No promises. I'm a little bit scattered today. Today is Monday, and I'm still really not used to filming on Mondays. This is Monday evening. I spent the rest of today with James at the hospital at treatment, so that's that. Okay, so I ended up working on 4 projects, plus a full coverage. So let's dig into the 4 projects first, because that's why we're here. Because I chose 12 projects, but did I work on 12 projects? No, I did not. Okay, so let's start out with what I did work on. So Mousy Monday I do with Terry from Terry Elite Crafts. I have not done it yet today because I was working on something else, but as of last Monday, this is what I had done. Sorry about the zippers and the ziplocs and the everything this one, because I've already filmed this. Okay, so this is my Mousy Monday piece. This is by Dimensions. It's called So Busy. I'm working on this little mouse right here, and I will show you where I got to. It's just done on kit, floss, and fabric. So I think this might be 16 count with the Dimensions floss. I have not put the Dimensions floss onto the thread cards yet because I haven't gotten there yet, but this is where we're at. So okay, so this was already all stitched in. And then I just worked on this little guy down here of the outside of his body. So I ended up stitching the outside of his body plus a little bit of his arm, the dark gray of his arm, and then a little bit on his foot down here. And then the timer ran out. I was doing 1 hour of stitching on my paper charts, just so that we could say I worked on them. So that one was that was Monday. Tuesday I ended up working on now this is all out of order, but that's okay. Tuesday I ended up working on Praiseworthy Stitches, and this one is Simple Gifts Christmas. I started this a long time ago, probably around the same time that I started, just maybe a little bit after I started this one. So this is on a 28 count piece of Fog by Picture This Plus. It's done in Gentle Arts thread and Weeks Dye Works. So this is the whole thing so far. I'll zoom in, and I worked on the left side of that page. So that's all the way to the bottom, that's all the way to the top, and I worked this time along this line right here over the hour. So I essentially did this whole thing over the hour. So that's good. Progress, because it was not getting any progress just sitting in my bin. Right. And if you remember last week, I had a random Ziploc bag. That was this fabric. That's what this fabric came in, by the way. So I will have to go through, I don't know, whatever. Would it be in here maybe? Let's find out together, shall we? Just no. My arm still hurts. Okay, I don't know. Anyways, we're not looking for it. Stop. Anyway, okay, so that was that. We're trying not to be so scatterbrained this round because last round of filming I was very like all over the place. Okay, so next thing I worked on for an hour was this one. This is Snowman Lantern by Mill Hill. It got its own Ziploc bag. I spent 1 hour on this, and this is where we got. I'm not doing the called for specialty if there's like half crosses or anything. I'm just going full crosses all the way, and this is where we're at. So I'm filling it in as if it were a full coverage because that's where my brain is right now. Full coverage, everything. And because it's in a Ziploc now, I don't have to worry about putting it in the bag anymore. Okay, last thing that I ended up working on for the paper patterns was out of this magazine. This is also, I found out today that the designer also has an Etsy shop. I'll put it down here. Whoa, shush. I'll put it down here so that I can share it with all of you. It is called, this piece is called See the Value, or Value the Moment, or Value the Memory, or some kind of something. Anyway, I feel like it's called See the Value. Anyway, this is what this is. See the value of a moment before it becomes a memory. I got a lot done. A lot done. Okay, so let's get all these random hanging threads out of the way because they don't belong here. Hey, Skitters. Oh my goodness, friends. He is sitting with his two little paws crossed. And this one right here, fully passed out. Okay, so here we are. Alright, so what did I end up working on? I don't actually have a board, so this is what we're doing. Okay, so so this was already all done. On Wednesday night for my Stitch group, my Zoom is not Zoom, but Ontario Stitchy group, I worked on this M. I pulled that M out 2 or 3 times in various stages, and thank goodness it's done now. I ended up working on the E, the N, and the T at the trailer this weekend, and then I came back on Sunday and ended up today, Monday, ended up filling in the rest of this N because I ran out of the color at the trailer. And then at treatment today with James, I ended up stitching in before, and I ended up starting the full coverage little block of yellow. So this is the whole thing. I found out today the due date is no longer maybe on the 22nd of June, which is absolutely fine with me. She moves in whenever she moves in, but it'll be done for when she is ready, because I feel like I'm going to bring this to treatment tomorrow too. Treatment for James is 2 days every 8 weeks for 6 hours a day. So 12 hours over 2 days every 8 weeks. Sitting at a hospital, just making sure he's okay. Not that the nurses don't make sure that he's okay, because, you know, that's what they do, and they do a great job, but it's nice to have somebody you know there. Hey! He totally just bit my hand. What? Skitters. Okay, so this is going to, I'm just going to do plans all in one go, because I'm not going to get this out again. So this is a focus for this week. And So Busy, wherever that ended up. So Busy is also a focus for this week. So busy. Also focus at least an hour just so that Mousy Monday can get done for today. Today is running out. It's already like, I don't know, 6:30 or almost 7. But it'll be my stitching before bed. Okay, so that's that. Now, what did I work on that was my full coverage? Autumn Fairies. I ended up putting 631 stitches, I think. I think it was 31. Sorry, for some reason I have all these yellow pieces of thread just out and about. Okay, so let's go back to this. How much did I do? Yes, 631 stitches. So before all of that, I am going to show you what it looks like over the Sleeping Simon. And now that I have other plans in this little binder, folder, what's it called? Bag. It's a bag, Julie. Anyways, I did not stitch as much as I anticipated that I was going to. I wanted to try and make it to 70%. At the beginning of this week, there were only 25 stitches left in order to go from 64.86 to 65% was 25 stitches, and I felt like 25 stitches at the point where I was at was not enough to be satisfactory on the full coverage situation. So I ended up putting 631, which made it go from 64.86% to 68.28%. So I almost made the 70%, but not quite. So that was already all done. That was already all done. That was getting to be, again, with the yellow fabric. Floss, I mean, threads. Good grief. Okay, so I ended up able to be squaring off everything almost, except for this part down here. That will be my goal for this piece, if not more. I plan on more, but this is at least my goal for the rest of this week, to see if I can get that squared off. Only because that was my goal this week, so let's stick with some goals that I can do. Alright, so I'm going to jump into June plans because so that it's not going to be so choppy. Last video was very choppy. It was very much okay, pause, okay, pause, okay, pause, okay, pause, just because I was trying to think about it and plan it out and find all the things all in one go, so that wasn't really working for me in my brain. It wasn't really driving. So now that I have all the projects out that I need and want and all my plans, you're gonna miss my spins because I already did those, but past that, for June, I'm going to bring back Milestone Manor, and that is in this folder. Okay, so Milestone Manor has 11 projects in it, so 11 different areas of the house. I chose to do a bungalow. This is what it looks like. I just asked ChatGPT to create a bungalow that has, I think, 10 rooms. So 10, well, look at that big yawn. 10 rooms plus a set of stairs. So we're gonna start in the foyer, and the foyer is, or the front room, is going to be Breaking It Free by Ciro Marchetti. And so how I'm going to do this is I'm not going to roll a dice, because I found that rolling dice is overwhelming and I can't do 2242 stitches, you know, without my mind exploding. So I cut it down significantly. If I end up doing the correct stitch amount, either 25, 50, 75, or 100 stitches, that's all I'm doing. I am spinning a wheel for those stitches. Hi, handsome. Your eye still bothering you? Somebody decided that they wanted to scratch his eye in a fight, So now his left eye is very small and his right eye is normal size. I think it was this guy that's sitting beside me, but could have been his sister. Anyways, Breaking Free is going to end up having 75 stitches put into it. This is what it's going to look like, and it is by, like I said, Ciro Marchetti. This is the mini version, and this is where we're at. And once I tell you Breaking Free, Heaven and Earth, there are currently 600 stitches in this, and oh, look at that. And it is until like they decide that they want to start. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so 600 stitches in this already, so I will add 75. I just want these projects, these are my least amount percentage complete. I chose my 11 least completed by percentage charts. Okay, so yes, 1.05%. There are still 60,000, or not still. Okay, total there are 60,200, and that's it, 60,200. I still have 59,600 left. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do for the first round of Milestone Manor. 75 stitches on this. Just know that there are 10 other charts, so if I get to them, I will show you the before and after. If I don't get them, then it never happened. Which seems to be my life lately. It never happened. Okay, so next thing that I want to focus on is temperature stitching. Temperature stitching is going to be 5 different charts. So 5 charts that are same chart is 0 and 5. Same chart is 1 and 6. Same chart is 2 and 7. Same chart is 3 and 8. And same chart is 4 and 9, just before I forget to tell you all of that stuff. Okay, so first chart, 0 and 5, is Autumn Fairies. You've already seen it. It's a retired chart by Karen Middleton of Heaven and Earth Design. It is super old. I can't tell you how old because I don't remember, but that's what this one looks like. So if anything, my goal is to, if it ever becomes 0 or 5 this week, is to finish off this little section down there just so that I can have it squared off, and that will be done. And that's Skitters, if you've never seen him. He is my big cat. Okay, so Beginner Seashell is next, and this is by Kayomi Harai. It is a Heaven and Earth design as well. A lot of you have seen this. So this is currently where I'm at for that one. I don't know why I've decided to show you all these and not all the Milestone Manor ones, but that's okay. This one is currently at this one is currently at 25,298 at 67.20%. No, lies. This one is currently at 17,000 out of 200. This one is currently at 17,000 out of 25,298. It is currently at 67.20%. Let's try all of that again. Holy. So that will be for 1 and... You're going to jump down, are you? Oh my gosh. Okay, bye. Okay. What are we doing? 1 and 6? Yep. Alright, so next up is Hazel's World View. No, World Giraffe. Oh, goodness me. This one, sorry for bumping the camera. This is for 2 and 7, and Hazel is by Dakota Dateweiler of Heaven and Earth Design. It has now retired from there, but you can get it on Charting Creations as the full version of Hazel's World. I think that's what it's called. It is currently at 47.77%. I can't tell you right now the amount of stitches that are in it, but it has 24,366 stitches, and I'm at currently 47.77%. Can I tell you that? It's currently at 11,795 out of 24,366. I have all of these different stats in like 3 different pages on my Excel sheet. Anyway, okay, next is Pokemon Starters, I think. Yep, and Pokemon Starters is by Cross and Floss on Etsy. I am currently at... It's not on there. Of course it's not on there. I can't tell you what I'm currently at. I can. I'm currently at 8,100 stitches out of 18,458 at 43.88%. And this is where we're at. So that will be 4 and 8 if those numbers come up. And then the last one is See You Later by Happiness on Etsy. It is currently at 5,902 stitches out of 9,392 stitches at 63.27%. And this is backwards. Okay, and this is where we're at. So everything is done. I have one more down here left, and I have, this is the crocodile one, and then I have the alligator one up there, and then it will be done. So I'm not really quite sure how this is only 63.27, but I guess those crocodiles and alligators are pretty big. Anyway, that's what it says. Who am I to argue percentages? Anyway, so that is temperature stitching. I don't know if and when that will ever what I don't know. We'll try and do it. If we don't get to it, we don't get to it. So all in all, I have 5 definite projects that I want to focus on for this week alone. So positive hanging, so the see the value of a memory. I have So Busy for Mousy Monday. I have White Mandala 3, which I did not actually show you. Oh, because I decided that I was going to spin a wheel with everything else on it and put 100 stitches in. So, shish kebab, White Mandala 3. Looks like this. And I'm going to end up, because these, I think there were 8 or 9 whips that didn't have a home to have a topic of things in Milestone Manor, temperature, whatever. So I decided that instead of ignoring them, I was going to just put them on a wheel and spin and see what comes up. And this is what came up this time. This is White Mandala 3, even though I am not doing it in white because white is boring, and it's on a 14 count piece of fiddler's cloth in an Ada. Anyway, so 2 strands, full cross, started from the inside. If you've been following me at all, working out, going around each of the circles, each of the rounds, I'm doing it in a DMC variegated of 4505, so it is purple to greens. Breaking Free is the first one in my, we're back onto the focus projects of the week. Breaking Free is the first one on my Milestone Manor game, which is that I'm going to do 75 stitches for. And Autumn Fairies is my focus piece when I am bored, when I have nothing else to do, when I feel like I just want to stitch, I'm going to stitch on that, regardless of the temperature of it being maybe that not that day. Okay, so that's all that. That's 25 minutes. That's cool. I also went into a little bit about it being Scleroderma Awareness Month. That is one of James's autoimmune illnesses. He has limited scleroderma, which is the slow acting, the slow progression of scleroderma. It started out in his arms, so in his forearms and his stomach, 13 years ago. He was very, he was very bloated. His stomach was very like tabletop rock hard. His forearms were also tabletop rock hard. His forearms are still like that, but sometimes there's a little bit of relief of not feeling that way, but not very often. So, even though he looks absolutely normal, you can't judge somebody just because there's no reason to say, why do you need a cane? What are you doing with a cane? You're absolutely fine. You look absolutely fine. No. So, because of the scleroderma, he was a diabetic for, well, still is, because of the meds that he was on. He wasn't a diabetic before. That's just one thing. He has what's called avascular necrosis in his hips for sure. Simon's going to start chewing on a box. So anyways, in his hips for sure, his right hip for sure has avascular necrosis, which is essentially the bone. It's essentially, I'm going to put the definition here because exactly, right? It's essentially eating away at his hips. The muscle tissue and the fatty tissue are eating away, so he's just left with bone on bone, and it hurts and all of that stuff. But if I am wrong, I will put a little definition up here, what avascular necrosis actually is, but it makes it painful to walk, it makes it painful to move, overall. So, especially during days where the temperature is fluctuating, if we get into a cold or a cooler spell, or if it shoots really high up into like the nice temperatures, everything hurts. Plus he is riddled with arthritis all the way through his body, as another thing. Also his diaphragm, so the muscle that sits right underneath your lungs, because of the scleroderma, has paralyzed in an upright position on his right side, that digs into his right lung, so therefore he is not able to breathe properly for a long amount of time. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. But yes, so if you see somebody on the street walking with a cane, or walking with a walker, or walking with strolling along in a wheelchair, or whatever it may be, don't assume that they're absolutely fine. And if they do get up from that wheelchair and start walking, really that's none of your business. They just needed to be able to have that aid that device for that moment in time so that they could get through whatever was making them not be able to do things a normal person would be able to do. And so I'm using very bad terminology in this whole segment, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so that being said, June is Scleroderma Awareness Month, so I will be talking a little bit about scleroderma for the next couple weeks over the month. I know that I think it's June 28th is Scleroderma Day. I think it's June 28th. Anyways, so ta-da! I hope you have a great time stitching. Thank you for joining me if that's all you were here for. I know I did a little bit of scleroderma chat, but otherwise life is going to be next. So I felt like everybody needed to know about scleroderma, so therefore thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying. Thank you for watching. Comment down below if you have anything to let me know about. And thank you for watching. See you next time. If you are still here for life update, that would be great. So stick around. Okay, life update. Working, lawns, medical appointments. Trailer. Ta-da! No. That's about it. So, medical appointments seeming to be stacking up now. We are, I guess, in the not reevaluate, but reassess, where James is, why can't I think of the word? Progression is, let's say, with his arms specifically. So James is having a hard time holding on and gripping it for a very long time onto an object. He likes to drop things a lot. So we were at the rheumatologist on Friday, and she is now ordered an x-ray for his hands and his wrists and his forearms and his elbows, just to make sure that the AVN I was just talking about, the avascular necrosis, has not also gotten to his wrists. So, because they are constantly in pain, and they have constantly been in pain for a very, very long time. So you can also see this little fight that's going on in the treehouse. Boys. Anyways, so yes, she suspects that he might also have AVN in his wrists, which I know that when he last saw the orthopedic surgeon for his hip, he was in the infant stage of getting a hip replacement. So he was at the beginning stages of, the AVN, I guess, the avascular necrosis. So, that being said, that's coming up in a couple weeks. He's also got a nerve conduction study also in a couple weeks to try and kind of link together whatever's going on with the hands, with the arms, if that has any nerve situations that are also being caused. He noticed when the tourniquet was going on his arm to be able to get his stint in today at the treatment, he noticed, oh, that feels funny. So hopefully we will remember to tell the nerve specialist, the neurologist. I don't know how he gets to go right to a neurologist and I don't, but that's okay. About this whole thing, about the tourniquet thing, blocking off the circulation and then making his arm feel funny. So that's something new that I didn't know about before. And then there was one other thing. Nope, it's gone. The x-rays, yeah, so if the x-rays come back normal or clear or whatever, she's going to book an MRI so that they can actually see what's going on in the hands, wrists, and forearms and elbow, just so that they're not going to be missing anything. I'm also going to be, there's also an appointment with his doctor, his regular doctor, his GP, on Monday, next Monday. We're going to either try and get into a Scleroderma clinic, because right now the care he's getting is okay, but it's not, we feel like it might not be Scleroderma inclusive. I don't know. Anyway, but if we can't get in, that's fine, because then I realized that the doctor that he has now is in charge, or one of the doctors at the Scleroderma clinic. So who knows? And what else? And so for his GP appointment, his general practitioner appointment, I'm going to see if she can book in any other kind of breathing tests, because even though James can get through the pulmonary function test properly or easily, or whatever the word is, he passes it every 2 years. It doesn't make sense, because he walks up a flight of stairs, he's out of breath, he can't breathe. He bends over to tie his shoes, he gets back up, he can't breathe. Like these very little things that are easy for everybody else is ridiculously hard for James to be able to breathe after. And it's probably because the diaphragm is pushing into his lung, but again, with the Scleroderma, it could be anything else, as well as the fasciitis, it could be anything else, right? Like, yeah, so that's on the front for James. As for me, I've been having dizzy spells. That's fun. I don't know where they're coming from. They started on the weekend, and I've had a few since, but there's been no random double vision, and there's been no random slurring, and there's been no random lifelessness in limbs, and so everything else is okay. It's just when I get up too fast now, or if I don't even know, bend down and get up too fast, or stand up too fast from the bed, or I don't know when it started. Well, it started on the weekend, but I don't know why it started. No idea. Anyways, I thought it might have been because the trailer hasn't been leveled out yet, but that apparently is not the case, because it happened while I was here in the apartment, so, and then happened at the hospital today, so who knows. That's it for me. I don't have anything else exciting going on in my life, my side of life per se. There's a whole lot going on in our lives, but not per se for my life. It's pretty mellow. I have been trying to play around a little bit with ChatGPT and seeing what it and I can come up with for different cross-stitch designs, full coverage cross-stitch designs, but nothing kind of really has stuck. There have been a couple that I have been like, that could be cool, but we'll see. Blooming Wallflower Designs is still on Ko-Fi. You can still support me, buy me a coffee. If you choose to, that would be great. If you choose to buy one of the patterns there right now, that would be great. There are 2 there right now. There's Sunset Swing, and there is Faded Flowers up there right now. Personally, right now, I have stopped stitching both of them, but they're gonna be great. They're gonna be great either way. So yeah, so that is me. That is what I've got going on. I don't think there's anything else. I'm gonna get off here, and then I'll think of all these other things that need to be said, but as of right now, take care of yourself, take care of your friends, take care of your family, but most importantly, take care of yourself. If you don't fill up your cup, then how can you possibly help anybody else? So happy stitching, sparkle and shine. Have a great rest of your week. I hope that everybody is safe and happy and moderately temperatured, either staying warm or staying cool or staying out of the wind or staying out of the rain or whatever is going on in your area of the world. And I should be back next Monday. Sparkle and shine. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.